Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello.
We're taking a look today at a new building I've built. It's a small Greek farmhouse, or generic Greek. The same sort of buildings were found more or less across the Greek world, and you could also pass probably for the coast of the Roman Empire as well, possibly a few bits across the Mediterranean and Anatolia, so it's a pretty generic building.
I would love to live in a place like that.
Why?
The walls.
Oh yeah, have a wall around. Yeah, well that's because walls keep people out who want to do damage to your property and person. Contrary to various persons' views. In the older days, most cities or most towns had a wall. They were all walled off.
It's so rare nowadays.
Well, it is because we have police forces and cars. But until relatively recently, town walls were vitally important. Up until about the 17th century, possibly even coming into the 18th century, cities and towns still maintained walls.
It just feels much more private having a wall around your garden.
I guess so, yes.
Instead of a bush, which everyone can see through.
And a gate that's easy to get through.
Yeah, a gate that's easy to get through.
Yeah.
Or I could climb over it.
But until relatively recently, I'm talking just a few generations, the world was a very dangerous place if you lived in the West. If you lived in other places, it's still dangerous. But we've pretty much got to the point where your normal citizens can walk around without fear of injury. They don't have to go out armed. This is a recent development within the last couple of 100 years. In fact, really until the invention of the policeman and the...
Metropolitan Police Force?
Not the Metropolitan Police Force, no, they cause crime. But some policemen, they're quite good. And
the Metropolitan Police Force was the first police force ever in Britain's history.
The Peelers.
You mean the Pinkertons?
Oh, Pinkertons. Oh.
But the proper police force was Metropolitan Police.
The first commissioned police force. Originally the police in Britain were private pay police, and they used to collect bounties, believe it or not, just like in America. The first police in America were basically bounty hunters.
There's nothing wrong with bounty hunters.
Well, we still have them today. But, well, not in
Britain.
but in America they do. Instead of the police putting time and effort into catching someone who's done a crime, you just say, I'll give you money if you find this guy.
And every time you murder someone, the price gets higher.
Yeah, they're not usually murdering. Usually bounty hunters go out after people who've committed...
drugs.
Yeah, other sorts of crime. When it's murder, you tend to get actual people, police with guns chasing them. Because you need to stop those sort of people.
Like a serial killer.
Yeah,
Would he not have a bounty on him?
No.
Because you don't want people going after him because it'd be dangerous.
I think that the highest bounties internationally are to do with smuggling and to do with making things explode. Not wanting to get banned from YouTube with the way that YouTube does its...
Smuggling, though? That's really easy to catch.
Well, it's the stuff they're
on the shore.
It's the stuff they're smuggling, which I'm avoiding.
Stand on the shore and say, smuggle the stuff to me, and then you say you're nicked.
No, we're talking about the kingpins here. We're talking about not the people who actually do it, but the people who organise it.
Yeah, you capture them.
On a massive scale.
Capture them and you sell them instead. For bounties.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to the model. It's just a normal farm. There's nothing particularly interesting to it. It's just to give us some additional buildings.
They have a forge. What do you mean nothing interesting?
Yes, they do have a little forge. A little tiny forge that's forged.
I don't have a forge.
No, we don't have a forge.
But we forge.
We have an oven and a fridge, and we have a man who can deliver things that have been forged to us. So...
I see your point.
Yeah. If our horse gets a broken shoe, then we could go to the local smith and have it done.
Or use your own forge.
You could use your own forge. You could use your own forge. Right. So the lid comes off. That's a small room at the top for someone to live in, and the interior as well. So you've got a nice little bit of interior space to play in. Just angle that up.
Why do they paint all this stuff white?
Cheapness, I would assume.
But red's the cheapest colour.
No, red isn't a cheap colour, but the reason red became popular in Britain is because we had a trade deal.
Romans had loads of it.
We had the Romans too had a pretty decent trade deal as well. But the Romans used multiple colours. They didn't just use red.
I'm aware.
That was Hollywood. But the whitewashing is very cheap.
What's that colour inside?
It's
like a brownie.
Yes, it's an off brown colour.
Brownie ready.
Yeah, I went to quite a lot of books to find out what interiors look like, and often they used to paint murals on them and stuff. And I weren't going to paint a mural on the side, so I just painted.
You mean their house actually looked like that?
Yeah, often, yeah.
That's disgusting.
If it was a not particularly well-off person.
I prefer white inside.
Yeah, I mean, but bear in mind, what some people would do is actually paint exteriors on the interior.
Okay, that makes no sense.
You would paint the wall as if it was a window looking out of a field. So you would paint what was outside on your wall.
Fair enough.
Do you get it?
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. It's
not. Don't need to be an artist for that. A really good
You
artist.
paid people to do it. You had people who did this for a living, and they would go to your house, and instead of wallpapering your wall, they would paint a landscape on it.
I don't think they had wallpaper back then.
No, they didn't.
Right.
That's why I said wallpapering, because that's what we would do now.
No, I don't do that either.
Was it Horace?
I just paint my wall.
Horace Walpole invented wallpaper, didn't he? Wasn't that a chap?
Well, does his last name end in wall or paper?
Not everything is named after the person who invented it.
No, just 90% of the time.
I'm trying to think of things that are. There's not that many.
Well, all the ones I've learnt in school are all named after the Butler Act,
Yeah.
made by Mr. Butler.
Right.
The Gove Act, made by Mr. Gove.
We call vacuum cleaners hoovers, even though they're not.
Yeah, but Dyson didn't really think of that one, did he?
No, he didn't. Actually, no. Mostly people call Dysons now.
See, there you go.
So it's actually got so far away from the invention that people are beginning to identify things separately.
See, Mr. Dyson invented the Dyson.
Yeah. There you go. A friend of my father's, stepfather. Mr.
What about
Dyson.
Samsung? Mr. Samsung.
No, he's not a friend of the family.
Mr. Apple.
No, he's not a friend. No, they're not. Apple. Is the guy who created Apple still around? I thought he'd.
I think he's dead.
I think he's dead. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. This is a building. Deal with it. Any more questions?
Nothing spoke about the building now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it. So your turn.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think of the Greek farmhouse with a forge. That's everything from me.
And everything from him. Goodbye.
See ya.